Today we're going over the Cure for Shyness banner, aka the Ilian Pegasus Knight themed banner in Fae. We have 4 new flying ults from Minerva, Mia, Azura, and a harmonic pairing of Hilda and Florina. We'll talk about everyone's stats and skills, plus discuss playstyle and build ideas. At the end, I will be covering the Tempest reward unit and Sacred Seals, RP Heroic Rail units. The 4-star focus unit for this banner is Minerva. You can get her at 4 or 5-star rarity. Ilian Minerva may be dressed like her Pegasus Knight White Wings, but I think she's brought her Wyvern with her. Minerva is an Axe Flyer for the 3rd time. For stats, she has 41 HP, 47 attack, 48 speed, 45 defense, and 19 res. Besides the high speed plus speed super boom, these don't look like typical Pegasus Knight stats. Minerva is pretty similar to Scarlet, but she's got some unique skills to stand out. Before that, Minerva has Ignis for her special and Wyvern Rift as her one rare inheritable skill. I don't think Wyvern Rift is that bad, but they put it on 1 unit for the last 2 years, so tough to use it when it's so rare. This skill does a speed plus defense check. If you win that, then it checks to see if you have 42 flat defense. As long as you meet that condition, Wyvern Rift gives 7 true damage, 7 flat DR for first attacks, Omni Breaker, and it makes it tougher to double the user by plus 20 speed. This skill is trying to make it very tough to double the user naturally. Since this is a real speed roll change, it also affects things like Potent. Wyvern Rift is quite interesting when paired with Minerva's unique Ilian Battle Axe. At start of turn and after acting, inflict -7 speed and defense, frozen, and sabotage on closest foes and foes within 2 spaces. Minerva will get contour distance +1 and sling. She has the typical book 10 effects of +15 stats in combat, 25 true damage, and 15 Excel type flat DR. Last, Minerva has full DR piercing, special procs. Minerva is trying to abuse all the speed roll effects by combining Wyvern Rift with Frozen. Not only does she have good base speed and defense already, Minerva debuffs those stats and doubles it up with Sabotage. This is the exact setup you want for Frozen type shenanigans. Now if the foe doesn't keep up with Minerva's defense stat, then she's insanely tough to double naturally. Minerva will also just get easier natural follow-ups herself. Like her young ult, this Minerva has a unique A skill called Dragoon Pillar. At start of either phase, grant Attack Liberate, Speed Liberate, and IO'd Shield to allies within 2 spaces. Minerva gets +9 stats in combat, 7 true damage, and 7 flat DR. Young Minerva's weapon had Guard, so Ilian gets that effect too. She also heals 7 HP after combat. Last, Minerva gets instant cooldown before her first attack and before her first follow-up attack. The amount of cooldown is equal to the number of healer or flyer allies on the map, including Minerva. If she has 2 of these ally types, then Minerva can get a max of -3 instant cooldown. This skill seems like a pretty clear nod to Hauteclair being a slaying axe in the form of just a ton of instant cooldown. Minerva wants healer or flyer allies such as Maria, Michaelis, or the White Wings. -3 instant cooldown on first attacks plus the follow-up is quite good. Her weapon has slaying, so you could charge 4 cooldown specials twice in a fight. Now in regards to the support effects, Speed Liberate is technically new, but it's the same as other Liberate statuses. These grant bonus stats in combat based on how many positive statuses you have. Minerva gives 3 statuses here, so Liberate would give +7 attack and speed. Get 1 more status for the max +8. Ilian Minerva provides some nice speed focused support. She even has IO'd Shield for allies too. If you still have Divine Codes, Ice Tribe Dea has Air Orders for, which adds +6 attack and speed field boss, charge, and warping. It's only for flyer allies, but Minerva wants 2 healers or flyers anyway. Now that I think about it, do flying healers count as 2 units for Dragoon Pillar? There aren't that many flying healers out there, but that could be a neat quirk for team comps. For other C skills, Minerva could use Raphael's Assault Troop to move 3 spaces. For premium options, there are tons of ways to go. Tempest skills, Shadow Assist skills, Strat Assault, Hold Guide, Rain Snap, etc. You could use No Uplift to empower the speed support setup, or Uplift Imbue for instant healing. If you want a full support build, you can get Attack and Speed Favor and Shred Assault from Hilda on this banner. Share some cooldown and mobility with the team. As for personal combat, Minerva can get -2 instant cooldown assuming you meet the team conditions. She can immediately trigger the Slaying Ignis or upgrade to Flame Wall if you want 40% damage reduction. If Minerva follows up, she gets -2 cooldown again, so double DR piercing specials are on the table. For a spicy new setup, the Tempest Trials provides a Dive Bomb Sacred Seal. If Minerva and the foe are above 80% HP, she gets Desperation. This means back-to-back special triggers. If you want to go this route, then you may want a more offensive B skill. Heavenly Soar or Air Superiority have immense pass warp range. For pure offense, go for Air Superiority's Potent follow-up. That will also be included with Dive Bomb's Desperation. If you prefer a more sturdy/annoying to take out build, Minerva can keep Wyvern Rift and use Arch Rival. Arch Rival's 40% DR on first attacks is guaranteed, so this is better for enemy phasing. With all these speed roll changes, Minerva should only get hit once or twice with Brave hits. Our drive will cover both scenarios, and you get flat DR from Battle Axe, Dragoon Pillar, and Wyvern Rift. When initiating, you can still score double Art Rival procs. Without its cooldown perk activating, you want -1 cooldown from an ally. If the enemy survives encounters, that's -1 cooldown. You add the -2 instant cooldown from Dragoon Pillar, and Slaying Art Rival triggers on the follow-up too. You can also just use something like Harmonic Ivy, who gives -1 cooldown before every attack. She's even a flyer to help Dragoon Pillar. For other skills, Minerva can use Execution Breath or Momentum for more cooldown. Scout can stop her instant special party, so these are options if it's an issue. Minerva can use specials like Celestial Form, Haze Slice, or Gale Force. For Sacred Seals, Blue Sky's 3 is kinda just too good for attack and speed, true damage and flat DR. Catch, Clash, or Prime skills are fine too. Overall, Ilian Minerva is a great 4-star focus unit, very similar to Ninja Hareed if you want a slightly more accessible frozen support. The only big thing to keep track of is meeting her healer/flyer team conditions. The first 5-star unit of the banner is Ilian Mia. Since I didn't get to say it last time, go play Path of Radiance if you have a Switch 2 and the online expansion pack. Funnily enough, this Mia is from Radiant Dawn. Now as a unit, Mia is a sword flyer with 40 HP, 45 attack, 49 speed, 49 defense, and 21 res. She has a speed super boon and a very defense-focused defensive spread. So much for the Pegasus Knight themed banner. For ult skills, Mia has Celestial Form, which is the speed scaling 40% DR special for melee flyers from Mythic Boulder. Mia then has Heavenly Sword, which is a new skill from Dual Boulder. That has Celica's Pass Warping with defensive tempo and flat DR. The third ult skill is No Uplift Attack and Speed, which was from Mythic Volley. In the Crux range, allies can get +5 attack and speed, 5 true damage, and no follow-up if you outspeed. Mia's the second every holder of all of these skills, so that's pretty neat. Mia's weapon is the Ilian Longsword. At start of either phase, grant Reflex, Dodge, and Truly Incited to allies within 2 spaces. For Mia herself, she has +7 Phantom Speed and Slang. We have the usual +15 stats in combat, 25 true damage, and 15 Excel type flat DR. Mia will also have no guard, and last, she has the 100% potent follow-up condition. If Mia is within 5 speed of the enemy, she gets an extra full damage hit. Truly Incited is a new status, but as the name implies, it's just a power creep version of the regular Incited. For every space moved by the initiator, gain +2 to all stats in combat. If you move 4 spaces, you can get a max of +8 stats. Truly Incited works on either phase, and literally it's just double the stats of regular Incited. They both stack together though. For other support skills, Mia hands out Reflex and Dodge. It's been a year since the Johanna banner, but the damage reflection is still going strong. In fact, it's better than ever since they keep tossing out Reflex supports. Mia's new inherent away skill is Blue Sky Gust. First off, let's just get it out of the way and say, except for one situation, this is a pure upgrade over Blue Skies 4. It still builds out of Blue Skies 3 though, so not any easier to inherit. Instead of Kanto 2, Blue Sky Gust gives Kanto distance +1. If unit initiates or has one ally within 3 rows or columns, they get +10 attack and speed, deal true damage equal to X times 4, and gains flat DR equal to X times 3. X is the number of allies within that 3 rows or columns. 3 allies in the range hits a max of 12 true damage and 9 flat DR. If you do not move when initiating, then Blue Skies 4 gives Kanto 2, while Blue Sky Gust only gives Kanto 1. That is the only time the regular tier 4 is better. The new version has more stats, more true damage, and more flat DR. The enemy phase condition is even easier to meet too. This is a flyer banner, but Blue Sky Gust is inheritable by Cavaliers still. It was already a fantastic A skill, and less than a year later, we got a pure upgraded version. Mia's base kit overall is pretty crazy, and a template for a modern flyer build. Her weapon provides dodge to use with reflex. Mia's Truly Incited plus no uplift can provide stats, and no follow-up to get rid of follow-up skills. Mia isn't going to charge Celestial Form in time for the counterattack, but if the foe procs a special, then she'll get that unpierceable 40% DR. If specials are up and dodge is maxed out, then Mia could get 64% DR total. She then hits flat DR from her weapon, Blue Sky Gust, Heavenly Sword, and you can use the Blue Skies 3 Sacred Seal. All of this will contribute to Reflex's damage reflection, plus Mia procs Celestial Form. If the enemy is pretty fast but not outspeeding Mia, she can also use her 100% potent hit to deliver her reflex damage. It can also just be a third hit to finish the job. To get in, Mia has Heavenly Sword's Pass Warping. With Blue Sky's Gust, she can also abuse Kanto distance to retreat far away. I wouldn't really change this base kit at all of these skills are quite rare. If you want to make a change, Arch Rival can give guaranteed 40% DR. You will need to find cooldown to charge it, but it would be a decent special if you want Mia to use like Distant Counter. Mia's flat DR skills work on either phase, and if you don't kill her, she's going to retaliate with damage reflection, so you know, that's fun. For other specials, Haze Slice and Gale Force Miss can work for 40% DR on all hits taken. An extra potent hit could be nice for Gale Force charging. If you don't need Heavenly Sword's Warping, Execution Breath can replace it as a true damage flat DR option, while giving Breath type cooldown and anti-healing. Momentum or Assault Impetus can work for cooldown, but don't have flat DR to tank with. If you prefer not to get hit, then Mia could use Trample or the brand new Dive Bomb Sacred Seal. Desperation plus Potent equals 3 hits in a row. The only issue with that is that you won't get to abuse Reflex. Speaking of, if you wanted Mia to heal, you could grab the other Volley's Uplift and Imbue skill that actually comes at 5 flat DR with the incredible 40% max HP instant healing. Mia is able to run an Echo skill, Soaring for team mobility, Crux for a follow-up, and Distant Counter or Guard for defensive setups. Overall, Ilian Mia is a reflex support, so that alone makes her pretty dangerous. If you're not able to take her out immediately, Mia will warp in, attack 3 times while reflecting your damage, and then peace out. Our third banner unit is Ilian Azura, who is taking her singing to a whole new level. Like Shigure, Azura is a lance flyer, and for stats she has 36 HP, 42 attack, 48 speed, 16 defense, and 48 res. Azura is committing to a super high res stat line with a super boom. She's quite fast and her attack is a bit lower, but Azura's physical bulk is just terrible. Do not let this lady inside of an archer. For ult skills, Azura has Crystalline Water for even more flat res and even less defense. That will help activate Defense and Res Discord for debuffing. Azura's weapon is the Ilian Great Lance. For Azura and allies within 3 wells or columns, they receive the following. Azura gets plus 15 stats in combat while allies get plus 5. Azura deals 25 true damage while allies deal 10. Last, if decreasing the speed roll by 25 would trigger a follow-up attack, then Azura and allies get a potent follow-up. If they do not hit more than once, they get a 100% potent hit. Otherwise, they get the half damage 50% potent hit. For Azura herself, she's going to get Contour Distance plus 1 and a flat plus 3 res. Azura has 15 flat DR from all attacks, and if initiating, she gets a follow-up attack before the foe can counter, aka Desperation. Stats: true damage and potent follow-up support is pretty fun. Azura uses the usual 25 speed advantage for potent, but she has the stronger potent follow-ups versus the usual 80% or 40% damage hits. With Desperation, Azura herself can attack 3 times in a row or just twice if she doesn't double. Do note, she does not have Slang. Instead, Azura opts for the more flat res to activate her res comparing skills. The main draw for this Azura ult is her unique Songful Essence dance. Azura is the first dancer with a 2-range dance. She will also re-enable Kanto for her ally. Now, for additional support, at start of either phase, Azura grants Draconic Hex and Preempt Pulse to allies within 3 spaces. She can also give +1 movement to her target ally. Normally this will be her support partner, but if they're not on the team, then she gives it to the highest attack ally. For some kind of balancing, Azura will not give the +1 movement to ranged cavaliers. As a refresher, Draconic Hex is Corrin status that tries to inflict -10 stats in combat. If the foe has actual field debuffs, then the in-combat debuffs are reduced down to -5 at a minimum. Now if you see this Azura, you have to be extremely careful. 2-range dance is even more unpredictable than normal, and with all the extra mobility, Azura will be able to dance from so far away. Azura's new inheritable C skill is Speed and Defense Crux Ploy. This skill line was introduced on Harmonic Ivy and is basically a combination of the Crux and Ploy skill lines. At start of either phase, if foes within 3 rows or columns do not have 5 more res than the user, they get hit with Ploy and Exposure. In combat, foes in that range also lose -4 speed and defense, and they take a free follow-up attack. Another reason Azura has high res and another support skill to add to the dancer. This skill builds out a speed and defense range 3, which is not on a free-to-play source as of now. It is on a ton of units though, so check your barracks. Let's tally up Azura's support setup. Her main draw is the 2-space dance, which is a first of its kind. You must be 2 spaces away, so adjacent warping skills like Wings of Mercy 3 may not be ideal. The tier 4 of that skill, or skills like Hold Guide, can solve that issue. Now from her base kit, Azura gives her target ally +1 movement. Everyone else can get the potent follow-up effect, plus 20 true damage via Ilian Great Lance and Exposure. Songful Essence gives Preempt Pulse for -1 instant cooldown, and we have a variety of stat advantages. Discord inflicts -6 defense and res plus its own status. Draconic Hex and Crux add more in-combat stat debuffs. You then got the +5 stats for your allies via the weapon. Now if you keep in this base kit, you can add Stillwater or Phantom Res for the extra flat resistance insurance. Azura will have a lot more support skill options though if the base kit doesn't impress you. Havoc, Sabotage, and Schism may prove more useful, or you could drop Prez comparing altogether with things like Shackle. The C slot has tons of things like Hold Guide for Warping, No Uplift for No Follow-Up, Uplift and View for healing, and then Shadow Assist skills for extra mobility after dancing. With her ranged dance, giving Azura more mobility makes her even stronger, so Strata Assault or any Tempest skills are on the table. Maybe you could fool someone with the odd or even Tempest Sacred Seals. While I would not recommend taking any physical damage on the 36 HP, 16 defense unit, Azura can obviously still deal some okay damage for herself. Her game plan is to simply hit twice or 3 times in a row with Desperation and Potent. Crux provides a free follow-up attack, or you could use Slice or Sparrow. Technically, any flow skills can be used, like the Flow Reefer Sacred Seal. Now for true damage and cooldown, you could use Execution Breath or Momentum. Heavenly Sword could be funny to maybe get into range of a dance instead of attacking. For battle-hungry Azuras, you could use Gale Force. For damage specials, there's Celestial Form or Haze Slice. You could use Ice Wall, but Azura is not pre-charging specials to get the percent DR ready. Now, if you want guaranteed percent damage reduction to maybe tank a hit on enemy phasing, then you could use Arch Rival. For a less expensive commitment, Iceberg Luna is just fine. Maybe Azura could charge Miracle if you give her extra cooldown and she does her 3 potent hits. All in all, Ilian Azura is going to be a scary wild card to run into. Dancing is so strong, and Azura has extra range this time. You have to wonder if this is going to be like the only 2-range dancer, or is this a sign for things to come later this year. Our last unit for today is Harmonic Hilda / Florina. Hilda has learned some tricks from Claude because she's a Colorless Flyer Archer this time. For stats, Hilda has 40 HP, 49 attack, 48 speed, 40 defense, and 17 res. Hilda has attack and defense super boons. She doesn't have the absolute highest defense for ranged flyers with Dragon Flowers, but Hilda is quite high up there. She might be able to trade blows physically, but magic is going to be a bit of an issue. Now for all its skills, Hilda has Rally Defense and Res Plus, so she can activate Attack and Speed Favor. She's the second unit with this skill, and it's a great support skill for anyone to use for stats, DR Piercing, and extra cooldown. In addition, Hilda has the still fresh Strat Assault 4 from Edelgard. 3 movement Flying Archer is kinda nasty. Hilda's weapon is the Skybound Bow. If a rally or movement assist is used by Hilda, she grants Coax to her ally for 1 turn, and Hilda gets another action. I will say here that Coax as a status doesn't do anything. Its sole purpose is to be a check for Hilda's other effects. We've seen this before with like Summer Lear's bonded status. Now for allies on the map with Coax active, Hilda gives them 7 true damage in combat. If Savior wasn't triggered, then that ally also gets Brave attacks. Continuing, if a rally or movement assist is used by Hilda or targets her, then inflict -7 attack, speed and defense, exposure, and panic onto the closest foes of both Hilda and her ally after movement. The debuffs also spread 2 spaces from the target. For Hilda herself, she will get Sling, plus 15 stats in combat, deal 25 true damage, and has 15 flat DR. Hilda has Breath type cooldown, and if she outspeeds the enemy or she's not next to an ally with Coax, then Hilda herself gets Brave attacks. Standard Book 10 effects aside, Hilda must assist an ally first to apply Coax, get extra action, and then move from said ally to get her own Brave attacks. The coaxed ally gets their own Brave attacks, so Hilda is kinda like last year's Harmonic Marissa / Byleth. Just like Marissa, Hilda can't give Brave hits to save her units, so you still need Erica's Ring for that. You can use the Brave hits for multiple times in a turn though. We may have left the desert, but another Brave attack in support is here. For their Harmony skill, Hilda and Florina grant Resonance Blades to units from 3 houses or Blazing Blade. At the same time, inflict Frozen and Share Spoils on the closest foe and foes within 2 spaces. Plus 4 attack and speed isn't crazy, but Share Spoils inflicts -5 stats and makes the enemy take full DR piercing, so that's a bit more respectable. Hilda's team can score an extra action if you kill the Share Spoils target, but this only works once. As for Frozen, Hilda's not really going all in on defense herself, but she applies speed and defense debuffs, and Frozen has its own +10 speed advantage by default. Might suit other allies better, but not totally useless for Hilda herself. Hilda introduces a new Archer special. Waning Shot is a 4 cooldown special that boosts damage by 80% of the user's speed or defense stats. As a passive bonus, the user inflicts extra attack and defense equal to the highest debuff on each of those stats between the target and foes within 2 spaces. Last, Waning Shot gives 40% unpierceable damage reduction for the foe's first attacks. Archers were early adopters of DR piercing specials and 40% DR specials, but things have shifted to having higher cooldown specials because Excel Flat DR is really neutered lower cooldown, lower damage specials. Waning Shot is the higher damage scaling answer, and it has the new guaranteed 40% DR effect that doesn't require having specials ready. It's also a suitable option for colorless archers to replace Arch Rival. Technically, Arch Rival is still an option if you want Guard or the 80% attack scaling. Now, Waning Shot's bonus effect is basically sabotage attack and defense, but you need to find your own debuffs like Hilda has. In 3 houses, Waning Shot lowered enemy strength, so that's why it's got attack debuffs and % damage reduction. Last new skill for today is Attack and Speed Airspace. This A skill grants Kanto 2. If the unit initiates or is within 3 spaces of an ally, grant plus 10 attack and speed, heal 7 HP after combat, and deal X true damage. If any tiles within 2 spaces of the user or the enemy are a Divine Vein, or is defensive terrain, or is difficult/impassable terrain for non-flyers, then X is equal to 12. Otherwise, X is 7. Airspace is an interesting new Flyer A skill. It's actually just a stronger version of the Mastery skill line, and that still builds a lot of attack and speed catch 3, so it's not too bad to inherit. You no longer need to fight to get Kanto 2, plus you get bonus healing this time. Technically, Mastery can give plus 11 attack and speed, but Airspace is only 1 point behind, and its terrain conditions now give bonus true damage. Now, you may be wondering, is Airspace better than Blue Sky Gust? Unless you don't move, Kanto Distance is better than Kanto 2. These skills both grant plus 10 attack and speed, and both can give 12 true damage, but Blue Sky Gust requires you to move 4 spaces for that. Airspace just checks for any special terrain. Now for defensive perks, you can't heal after combat if you're dead, so I would say Blue Sky's Flat Dare is generally the better perk. For the most part, I would go with Blue Sky Gust, but it's much harder to inherit. The main reason to use Airspace is that all flyers can run this skill, dragons, beast, and ranged flyers can get Kanto in that A slot. As a unit, Harmonic Hilda and Florina are a dangerous duo. They can assist an ally to coax them into brave attacking, plus Hilda triggers favor. With Rally Defense Res and Attack and Speed favor, the ally gets plus 6 to all stats, empathy, 50% piercing, and -1 cooldown. Skybound Bow also inflicts mass debuffs with panic, plus you got the Harmonic skill for frozen and share spoils. To further empower the coaxed ally, they get 29 true damage from Skybound Bow, favor, Stratus Assault, and exposure. Now for Hilda herself, she gets an extra action and brings Waning Shot to 2 cooldown. With Brave hits and Breath type cooldown, Hilda can proc the special on her second hit. If she survives the counterattack, you can get a second Waning Shot on the 4th quad hit. Hilda gets in and out with Stride Assault plus Airspace. Now, as a note, Hilda doesn't have no follow-up or no guard. You could use Slice with Sparrow, but I think Airspace is too good to replace. If you want to use an Echo skill, then Crux or Sly Echo can help Hilda push through follow-up denial. For no guard troubles, you could use Speed Taker, but Favor synergizes really well for Hilda's support aspects, maybe if we get a Speed Taker upgrade. On the topic of cooldown, you could also use good old Quick Impulse if you really need to charge something. Stride Assault is pretty cool, but there are other options. Technically, Air Orders 4 gives regular charge plus attack and speed buffs, but only for flyers. The new No Uplift gives no follow-up, which Hilda could use. Uplift Imbue is also spicy to heal the coaxed ally if they're the one tanking. Now, if you just want to ferry more allies around, then Shadow Assist skills are an option. These won't trigger favor or apply coax though. For other skills, you could use a movement assist if you got buffs covered. Attack and Speed Prime or Catch 3 are good Sacred Seal stat boosters. You can also go with the Squad Ace or Fly Mobility skills. Overall, Hilda's got some pretty good support perks and she can lay down covering fire while having a lot of mobility. I'm not entirely confident in her tanking, but she has one of the higher defensive stats for a ranged flyer plus Waning Shots. Maybe next time she can borrow Claunt, Fallen Stars, 80% damage reduction. As promised, I'll be talking about the Tempest Trials rewards in this video. The reward unit is Kadean Nino, who's a speedy red mage. She can move 3 spaces, isn't slowed by terrain, and stacks attack and speed based on positive statuses. If Nino triggers a damage special, she gets 50% regular DR for the next hit taken. The reason for that last effect is because Nino has speed preempt to trigger Vantage on ranged foes. Times Pulse 4 helps pre-charge Glimmer, and Attack and Speed Finish 4 adds extra true damage. If you like these skills, you can get 2 more Ninos via Heroic Rels in a few months, and she's also in Ephemera Common Manual for this month. You can also merge them for a +3 Nino. All of that with free in-game resources is pretty cool, but not enough to sway me on the Tempest Trials changes. As for Sacred Seals, Wyvern Flight 3 is here. Unlike Wyvern Rift, it does a flat speed check, then a flat defense check. If you have 14 or more defense, then you can inflict a -7 attack and defense on the foe. Pegasus and Wyvern Flight are okay, but not my first choices. That is especially true now that Blue Skies 3 exists. That can give 6 true damage and flat DR on top of +6 attack and speed in combat. For a far more interesting Sacred Seal, Dive Bomb 3 is pretty fun. If melee flyers and their opponent have more than 80% HP, then you get Desperation when initiating. This allows you to attack twice unless the foe has Hardy Bearing or stopped your follow-ups. You can also use Dive Bomb with potent hits, and unlike regular Desperation 3, you don't have to lose HP beforehand. Obviously, the downside is that if you do get hurt or the enemy is hurt too much, Dive Bomb is no longer active. Still, facing full HP foes is much more common, so this is a very cool Sacred Seal to accompany the Flyer-themed banner. It's still January, so no new Squad Assault Seal to mention. If you haven't heard though, starting with Squad Ace CW, they're upgrading the plus 5 HP and plus 3 dual stat boosters up to plus 6 HP and plus 4 stats. If you like these types of Sacred Seals, then prepare for all the variations going to be coming this year. That's all I have to say for this video. We got some interesting new things on this banner like Winning Shot, Blue Sky Gust, and the introduction of 2 range dancing. Keep an eye out for this new Azura, and be careful of Hilda's Brave Attack support. If you're planning to summon, then I wish you good luck. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.